the sound of the gravel on a back road. It's a catfish pulling on a line. It's a screen door swinging on a front porch. It's a cricket chirping in the night.
Hey, I'm Paul Karchut with Daybreak Alberta, and we're bringing you the Next in our Pizza at Paul's series here, where we talk with artists who are traveling through Alberta. They hang out in my kitchen with me, make some pizza, and talk about their music and the industry. Next up are the Hunter Brothers, a 5-part family-based group from Saskatchewan that are doing big things in the world of country right now. They've got over 70 million streams worldwide, over 1 million followers on social media. But they're at this point in their career where it's their first headlining tour. They're getting a lot of momentum in the world of country, but they're still working on the farm as well. Welcome, Hunter Brothers.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Excited to be here. First headlining tour. The changing of mindset when you're going from, being a supporting act to a headlining act. It's got to be a bit of a change. JJ, how big of a deal is it for you to start off? And then I want to also get into this whole idea of how you have to kind of change your mindset around it, because you're not just sort of like getting the crowd started for the evening. You're it. So what's it been like?
Well, as far as heading into it, this has been in the works for quite some time. Due to all the world events, things kept kind of getting pushed back further and further, and so we've been excited for it for a long time. As far as the mindset heading into a headlining tour, you're exactly right. It's the people are coming there because they've made some connection with you or your music, and so there's a really different vibe. Festivals, all sorts of different events, rodeos, whatever it is, are great. They're wonderful for different reasons. But when you all of a sudden this is primarily a theater tour, and so when you get into that intimate setting where you're with people that are coming to engage you and your music, you're able to explore things that maybe you don't regularly get to do in a concert. You're also able to interact in a way that is, I think, heightened, because everybody is there to be there for you and your songs, and so we've really experienced that. And then even before, after, everything, you set up and you're the act. There's a real joy in having that. We can craft things the way we want them. Our family's been with us the last 3 nights. That's been super fun.
Tell us about growing up with family on the farm, how you got into music. How did it all play out?
My mom was, always had a love for the arts. Not that my dad didn't. In fact, he comes from a really musical background, but he was all about sports. And so my dad was all about the farm and all about sports. So he put us into hockey when we were young, and my mom insisted that we learn piano. And they supported each other in that. So we weren't allowed to go and play hockey unless we had our piano practice. So we had piano upstairs and downstairs, because when you get this many trying to practice the piano every day, you're going to school and you've got farm work to do and you've got hockey practice. There's only so many hours in the day.
Talk to me through how that works as musicians on the road. Summer season is when it's really important to farm, but it's also when it's really important to be on the road too.
Absolutely.
So how have you found a middle ground here?
Yeah, we're very fortunate with our management and label group that when they signed us, the head of our label came and rode on a combine before he signed us.
Wow.
So he knew that was part of our life. Mm-hmm. And as a result, they've really done a great job of kind of formulating a plan in and around that. And there are still times and it's really busy. We usually stick around for planting season. We all try to be around for planting season. Yeah. And usually festival season hasn't really started too much by then. And then we head into the summer festival season, and then harvest is the biggest challenge, because we usually have to get people to kind of fill in roles for us because there's a lot of festivals in the fall that we have to go to. But we've got a great, amazing group of guys on the farm, full-time workers that fill in that gap, and then other people that will kind of be more part-time when we've got to be on the road.
Ty, when you're ready, throw it in. Watch the sides, very hot.
I just huck it in there?
Huck it in and try not to have it lose its form when you're putting it in the pan. When we talk about some of the successes that you've seen, I want to talk about the fact that you've gone platinum here, that you hit a Billboard #1. These are all huge moments. What has the pinch me moment been for you in where you've gotten so far in the last couple of years?
Wow, I think there's been a lot of pinch me moments. I think Lost was a little bit of a dark horse song. We didn't really anticipate it doing what it did. Sometimes there's songs that you anticipate maybe doing better than others, and that was one where we weren't entirely sure what was going to happen, and just seeing it move to #1 was a really neat experience for all of us, and I think that's definitely a pinch me moment for sure.
What do we think? Maybe wait a little longer. Yeah, look at that.
It's looking pretty good.
I like what you did there, Ty, putting the meat on top. That's a pro move because it gets it kind of crispy in the oven.
Thank you.
I feel like you're downplaying some of your baking skills, but I think you might know a thing or two.
I'm actually not bad in the kitchen.
I've talked with artists before about the push to become more than Canada famous versus being Canada famous. And sometimes people are like, it's good to be Canada famous because then we know we can build on that specific audience, and we we can really just make that the focal point, right? Build up a certain following here. Others say, no, we got to get ourselves stateside because that's where, there are 10 times more people ready to listen. What's your approach?
Well, again, individually, there may be some different answers. We did originally, and for quite a while, we were thinking and planning as to how we could take it to an international level. Of course, you want your music to connect. There's some of the videos and social media posts we've had as much or more traction in different countries around the world than we have in Canada. Saying that, we're also not 18 and single and can just hit the road for 365 days a year either. And we have an established career here in Canada. The people that we've been able to connect with and the audience that we know that we have, we're really thankful for that audience. And so I'm excited to dig in here in Canada.
Dig into this pizza. Speaking of digging in, nice work. It's been a real pleasure getting the 5 of you in here. It's a full kitchen.
It is.
And
Thank you for having us.
a pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Heck, absolutely.